Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about the re-upload. I just wanted to add a quick intro to today's video. Today's video is a Joe to Pro analysis. It was a live analysis on my Twitch page that I'm now uploading to YouTube. It's a very long video, very detailed. There's a lot of great information in here, but if you don't have time to watch it all, check the description. I've got timestamps that break down each individual part of this video so you can find something that works for you. If you want to learn about spawns, if you want to learn about running flags, teamwork, whatever, there's specific points that I've outlined in the timestamps. Go check them out. Also, go check out my friend who's a huge help with these videos, Callous. Some of you know Callous helps me out with Joe to Pro analysis. He helps me out with a lot of different analysis videos. He's very knowledgeable about macro level Halo, so team plays and strategy. A lot of my knowledge in today's video comes from Callous, and Callous definitely deserves that support. I put his Twitter in the description below, and I highly recommend you check out his new YouTube video with Paradise Halo. They're breaking down a really interesting play in Halo 3 on Narrows. I've linked that in the description. Really great video. Make sure to subscribe to Paradise Halo as well if you don't already. They deliver content that's kind of like mine. It's like really awesome analysis content that I highly recommend you guys check out. That's all I got for today. Enjoy today's video. Hopefully you guys get some good knowledge from there. I'll see you around soon. Okay, guys. Let's get into today's breakdown. So we've got Coliseum CTF. Today's breakdown is on the gamertag Visual. Visual is a Diamond rank player. He's Diamond 1 at the time of recording here. Let's go, Life 1. Yeah, that's the thing. I believe the value of these breakdowns do deserve compensation. And I would say that, you know, this is, I think, the fairest, most accessible way that I could think of is to just say, pay $5 for a sub, and not too many people are subbed to me right now, so your chances are pretty good. Okay, so first life. Done. Alright, so Visual spawns up. He's going to go rocket side. Totally fine. The only thing about the rocket side push is just like the double stack that ends up happening with him and his teammate. He's a front player, so I don't really think he needs to worry too much about this. Like, choosing to go up the lane is fine. I think the player behind him, then again, I guess he's engaged in a battle. It's just the fact that they're both stacking the same lane, I think, is an inefficient way to apply pressure to top rocks. It'd be cool if somebody chose this lane, like this angle right here, and jumped up here. Great kind of pinch opportunity for this guy on top rocks. The biggest issue with this play, though, that I don't understand, Visual, is why didn't you kill him? Watch this. Hit marker. You got a hit marker. You know for a fact that he's there, and then you thrust, and then you sprint, and you grab the rockets, and you dip. You dip. Why didn't you kill him? I don't know why you didn't kill him. So that was one weird thing for me, because I feel like this could have been an elbow side rocket run right off the beginning, right? So you get that kill, you get the rocket kill on window, go through elbow, or maybe even up through window, grab that flag, run it elbow. Like, immediate flag run, right? Had you gotten those two slays right off the beginning. It's like, good kill right here, right? And like, that would have been 2 dead. This guy's running cave side, whatever. You could have overwhelmed him with your teammate and started running that out rock side right off the beginning. And then once you're down here, I would say, you know, try to, like, play passively. You recognize that there's no, like, contention from, like, you got window, you came through rocket side, good chance there could be a player over on snipe side. You might not predict that he's on cave, but just in general, like, playing a little bit patiently here, you start sprinting before your shields come back, so it resets your shields, and then you kind of, like, slide jump out, notice this guy late, unfortunately missed the rocket, and then you die in the end. Yeah, so that's kind of the first life. Biggest missed opportunity is just, I'm not sure why you didn't, you know, after getting that confirmation on the hit marker, why you didn't just finish off that kill there. Yeah, I mean, had you hit the second rocket, that might have been a flag opportunity too, right? Like, you might have been able to, like, you got that rocket, that might have been a flag run opportunity right there. I even think just, like, after you got that window kill, maybe jumping right back up into the window would have been a good, you know, opportunity for the flag as well. But in general, like, getting that kill and winning rockets, like, elbow side, elbow is such a great way to enter for the flag and get that flag pull right off the bat. Guys, I encourage that you contribute to this discussion. Also, Callous in the chat. Welcome, Callous. Callous and I watched this yesterday, so Callous, thankfully, can help out as well. Callous always has great insight here, and part of my insight is going to come from the conversation that we had yesterday. We got the chance to watch this quickly together, which was awesome. So yeah, I encourage any comments, discussion in the chat, whatever you guys got. Always good, always helpful. I'm not good enough to offer opinions, but it's not about whether or not your opinion is correct. It's about just kind of like contributing to the conversation. So like, you might say something and I might not agree with you, but that's fine, right? because then we have like a bit of a discussion about it. Because I don't know everything about Halo. I'm still learning, right? Like, we're all still learning. That's the objective. So spawn. Let's see this next life. Yeah, it was fun. This one was fun to watch. For some reason, I was trying to be aggressive. I didn't think about the different lanes. That's fair. You were very aggressive throughout this gameplay, which sometimes helps you, and sometimes, you know, sometimes you kind of miss opportunities as a result, but that's okay. So one thing that kind of happens in the meantime here, and this is something that Callous and I noticed that I don't like that people do at a lower level. It's this, like, selfish gameplay that happens with a sniper rifle that just doesn't, like, it just, I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, so here, watch. So you got your teammate here in the meantime. He manages to get a slay here. He picks up the sniper, right? And if you look at his screen... Where is this guy? Easy Ian. Picks up sniper. Blanes this kid, right? Like, nice no-scope. He blanes him. Opportunity to apply pressure, potentially get a flag cap. Like, he's got great presence on their side of the map here, right? If he kind of just, like, holds his own here. But what does he do the moment he gets that snapshot? He books it. He gets the heck out of there. He runs so far. And honestly, he runs as far as you could possibly run away from the battle. Like, he sits here. That's also why you spawn in cave, because before he just team spawn, he just sits there for a second for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, puts his controller down. And then he goes all the way in the back. All the way in the back. Like, if you're going to go to the back of the base, which, first of all, I just don't think you should, because you already had a good position on the map where your team could work with you, and you have sniper, you could block down their spawns, like, take advantage of that opportunity. But to go, like, all the way in the back, like, why not just go to the street? At least in the street, you have, like, more angles where you can help your teammates better. Despite that, though, he does get, like, some pretty decent shots back here, but, like, dude, you're so out of the field to play. It's very selfish. You know, these are, like, useless. This is a perfect... He just killed his teammate. By the way, he just sniped his teammate. This is a perfect example of, like, useless slays, right? Because if you're so far back and you have no presence, like, sure, you get these kills, but then they spawn up, and you haven't made any strides on the map. Like, you haven't given your team too much of an opportunity to make any strides on the map. So then they just spawn up, and it just resets. It's just going to reset the scenario once again, right? So, like, some good kills here, right? Good kills, good kills. But watch what happens in the end of this, play. Right now, he's starting to walk up. Now they're starting to pressure him. I'm going to fast forward a bit. Misses a shot here. And then eventually, he's going to die. He dies, drop snipe, and they get a flagpole, right? So all of those slays that you got didn't really do anything for anyone, right? As opposed to just having presence on the map and using that sniper to give your teammate an opportunity for a flagpole, being all the way in the back of your base and getting kills, like, that pads the stats, but, like, it didn't help anybody, you know? What is this man doing, right? So, like, he shot some good shots, and credits for shooting some good shots, but, like, all those slays did nothing. They did nothing, except, like, reset the situation, and now his enemy team has a flagpole. So, like, something to keep in mind, just, like, not useful, okay? Yeah, it was pretty funny. Okay. So, in the meantime, Visual has a life here. Okay. Fuck this, I'm out. Fuck this, I'm out, dude. He gets a no-scope, and then he leaves. He goes so far. He goes so far, dude. Just oh yeah, and he got the betray too. That was pretty funny. Okay. So Visual, you spawn up, and we saw, like, you go immediately up to top cat. First thing I would say is, like, you're clambering a little bit too much. Like, it's not a big deal in this situation, but, like, this sprint and then slide jump into this couch, unnecessary. Like, on top of the fact that you're committing your reticle to look at this couch, you also don't need to ever clamber this. You could just crouch jump this, you know what I mean? Like, had you have been crouch jumping this and looking that direction at the same time, your angle would have already been placed on this guy clambering up. You would have easily gotten first shot to help out your teammate with that fight. Right? So it's just a little thing. However, I don't even really think going to catwalk was necessarily the best play, and this is something Callous and I talked about, because you already have a teammate who's taking that position, and the one thing that Callous does, he usually opts to pick, like, the best option for competitive play, like the best, like, if you were with a team, this would be the best option, but it also means that you have to kind of trust your teammates, and I assume that you're playing solo queue here, so in this situation, you know, this play might not work as well, but what Callous was thinking, and what I agree with, is if instead of going to top catwalk, where you already have a teammate going this direction, right, he's already opting to go through the top catwalk route to blue DMR, if instead you go pyramid, you have a great kind of, like, expanded lane with him, right? And if you think of, like, how things play out here, against this kill, you can still help with that kill from Pyramid, right? And then you would have an angle on this guy on Maze. You can start shooting him, and assuming this guy, this is where you have to trust him, assuming he has awareness, he could drop down on this guy and finish him off too, and that's 2 great slays, right? Also, being on this side of Pyramid gives you an opportunity to stop this guy as well. If you jump too far forward, you end up in a 2v1. Just, I think in general, because you already have a guy in that lane, try to think about expanded plays. It's like the, what was it, the quote that Callous gave me was outside, outside, in, right? You go from the outside, you take the outside lanes, expand out, get slays, and then go into the center to grab the flag or the capture or whatever it is. Oh, man. Just a normal one, and yes, solo queue. Okay. Dump jump? What do you mean? Bump jump. Oh, your settings. Yeah. H5 clamber kid. Yeah, some of those clambers, like, it just kind of, you know, keeps your reticle, like, looking at locations that aren't really necessary for a second. You might not be ready for something that you could be ready for alternatively. So, yeah, anyway, expanded lane could have been pretty solid here. Though taking top cat, you know, this works as well. The only issue at the end of this is just kind of, you know, unfortunate. He gets better shots on you, and your thrust doesn't really get you out of the line of fire. And also because you didn't take the expanded lane, you picked the middle route, then you definitely get pinched, right? Now you're, like, vulnerable to both angles. That's one issue, too, right? Like, taking top catwalk means that you give opportunities for enemies to have expanded routes on you, which is rough. Like, if you're ever in the middle, top catwalk, one of the scariest places to be on Coliseum, if you don't have presence on, like, other lanes, like Sniper, let's say Rockets, this is very dangerous to be up here for any, like, long period of time. So, something to think about. Like, you put yourself in between 2 lines of fire by selecting the same lane as your teammate, because it gives them opportunities to have expanded lanes on you. So, another life. Skeleton blueprint for small road setup, outside. So 2 perimeters first, and then the middle route option becomes the most safe. Oh, okay, so that's what you're saying. Okay. So, yeah, so trying, like, securing perimeters should always be kind of, like, your first, like, logical step forward. Spida with the host. Let's go, Spida. Thank you. Yeah, and once you've secured perimeters, then that middle route becomes very safe. It's not to say that you can't choose the middle route, but understand the risk that comes with, let's say, going top mid on Truth or going top catwalk on Coliseum if you don't have a perimeter secured. Yeah. Next slide. Desp flies with the hose. Let's go, guys. Let's get one viewer at a time. Let's get to the top.
Blue flag return. Blue flag reset.
Keep this going until you die. Okay. Big slowdown here. Right. Another perfect example is going window off spawn, which is the first thing we're going to talk about. Alright, so dead. So yeah, so consistent with what we just talked about, in this scenario, going window off spawn is an inside route, right? Like, I think the best option for you off spawn would be to go rocks. And if you go rocks lane, you get a good angle on top catwalk. You can apply pressure. You could also see a DMR, and you also spawn your teammates up with you rocks. They end up spawning rocks as well anyway. But, and then you guys can kind of, like, both apply pressure together. It is a little bit of a vulnerable position. I figured, like, if you are up there, then you could end up getting, like, shot at by 2 magnums. You could also drop down if you're in trouble. I just think this expanded lane is a better idea than being here in the center where you can very quickly die. This is very, very dangerous, and this ends up happening where, like, you end up, yeah, like, double-teamed right here. Somehow you survive, which is, like, amazing job, kind of like, well, honestly, a little lucky, too, because that thrust was, like, right into the wall. You probably should have died for this in any other scenario. But you do manage to get away. Sprint when you hit the floor. Probably the best option you could choose here is just try to get out of this situation. And you manage to. Right, we don't have anyone on either perimeter sniper rock side, and Rocks is, like, his most convenient option,
Blue flag
too.
Return. Blue flag reset.
Yeah. So at this point, things get a little slow here as well. Like, you don't have any presence snipe side. You have teammates going up rocks. I feel like because he has the rock side perimeter, it makes it safer for him to choose to be window now, Callous. And you could tell me what you think here. But, like, instead of just kind of staying back, what ends up happening a little later, though, is you kind of have, like, really good presence of mind to know that... It's weird that, like, these guys are all standing still, too. Nobody's really pressuring you as well. We thought we thought he died, and then we realized he actually lived, and he was just staying here. Crazy how, like, this kind of transpires, so you end up sliding and, like, weaving your way through 2 players. Swish kills with the follow. Thank you, man. Welcome. And you have pretty solid awareness here, though. Like, once you get here, I guess you can hear that there are players behind you on cave, because what you do is, the moment that you get this kill, right, you turn around, and then you nade flag. And he happens to be pulling the flag. So I think that was pretty, like, good awareness on your part to, like, hear the guys behind you and consider that they might be on red base, and that's why you hadn't seen them earlier. Like, they had snipe, they pushed through snipe. So you end up, like, applying pressure to their flag immediately. You do get a kill, and then you go down. I think you do, like, maybe, like, an unsafe thrust here. Let me see. Somebody think about some of your thrusts, too. Like, well, there'll be a couple thrusts that I'll point out a little bit later. I don't know. I mean, you jump thrust in. You probably get your thrust back by the end of... Yeah, and you die immediately. Not the worst. Yeah, let's do your next life here.
10 seconds to rocket launcher.
I know, there's too much to look at.
Rocket launcher ready.
Garrett with the sub. Thank you, Garrett. Welcome back to the Shyway. I know you've been here before. 9 months, Garrett. You're amazing. Thank you so much. You want me to call you Nixon? Or let me know what you want me to call you. I had trouble reading that. I always have trouble reading people's names. Okay, a bit of a blunder at the end there. Flies off the map. In a flurry of bullets. Okay. So, this is another interesting, like lane, like, route selection kind of scenario here. So you spawn up, and you have no presence snipe side, and Callous makes, like, a pretty good point here that I agree with. You have a couple options. I could say go immediately up to DMR, and from here you have, like, a good angle where you can help your teammates. It's a pretty, like, baitable location where you can stay alive. Thank you for the follow, Nixon. Yeah, so red DMR, I think, would have been a good place to go. You end up getting there. The way that you get there is, like, really inefficient. Sean with the sub. Let's go, Sean. Appreciate your grind as always, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for that sub. Let's go, guys. So yeah, so just a kind of like an inefficient way to get there. Like, you could very quickly jump to oven, and then you're up on DMR. You're right where you need to be nice and early. Instead, you, like, slide jump clamber this. I'm not sure why you're clambering this. Sometimes I'll slide jump clamber stuff, but I only slide jump clamber stuff if I'm trying to escape and I want to grab, like, a really low profile ledge, which is a cool kind of nuance about the mechanic, basically. If there's, like, remember I had a YouTube video on it, in the rig, there's, like, those really low rails on the floor. If you slide and jump and hold clamber really quickly, you can do a very low profile jump. You can grab the ledge and then go, like, right down into trenches immediately. That's a scenario where it's good to do a low clamber. Right here, not necessary. It's just, like, wasted time. On top of the fact that you, like, back up, position yourself, like, this could have been, like, a jump to that, I obviously can't see where I'm pointing, but a jump to the left side there, and then jump up off of the side of it, as opposed to, like, repositioning, back facing here. Like, this guy, because he has no awareness, it takes him forever to realize, like, that you're there, and then he's behind you, right? So it's, like, in general, just inefficient. The issue with standing here in DMR, though, is it does put you in this, like, vulnerable position on snipe here. These guys coming through catwalk, so that the time that you finally clamber up, you end up getting naded immediately. So the coolest kind of idea that Callous had brought up is, instead of going red DMR off spawn, knowing that sniper you have no presence and that your teammates are on rockets, they're on the window, what if you went silver? If you sit silver here, you're kind of, like, in a sneaky but baitable location where you get, like, a good angle onto to window, and you could jump silver to silver. So if they're, like, in sniper, you're kind of keeping sniper out of play. You're keeping yourself in, like, like, just a much better position where it's harder for them to kill you and for you to immediately get spotted. So you could jump silver to silver, go up into their window, right? And then you keep sniper, like, out of the play. You're kind of playing sneaky, and you're also helping your teammates at the same time. So something to consider is, like, either immediately getting that DMR angle and just, like, raining fire and knowing that you might get challenged from catwalk, or going this, like, silver route, right, and getting angles and helping out that way, I think would have been really good. DMR for more aggressive play. We're probably exposed to snipe side earlier, exactly. But then you get into a fight, you have height, you have some height advantage, you have, like, some options to escape, I guess, but they're above you in catwalk. Anyway, yeah, so I think, like, those two options would have been pretty solid. Instead, you kind of end up with this, oh my god, please, theater. with this like slower play up to red DMR. So by the time you get there and you jump to cat, you're already kind of under pressure, you're in trouble. But you stay alive here, which is solid. Another thing to consider, so you're going to get this kill right there. I feel like the moment you get this kill, you immediately can start pushing up again, right? So like once you get that kill, you slay your base, you realize that you've taken them down. Try not to waste time here. Like immediately start to move up again and apply pressure. Also, like I guess considering like, oof, what's going on in the map as well. Like maybe you could be worried that somebody's still pushing from snipe, which I get. But I feel like you had full shields before that nade hit you. You can continue to go up on snipe. Regardless, though, you're going to push up rock side. Okay, and then you end up facing this guy on rockets. And this is where this weird, like, kind of blunder happens where you, you thrust off the edge, and there you go. Biggest thing about this fight here, once you do actually get to elbow, a couple things you could do to ensure that you don't die like this is just how you approach in the first place. Like, if you're going to approach elbow and you're predicting that there might be a player on top rockets, first step here is reticle placement, right? Your reticle should already be up looking at rockets so you're ready as early as possible for that fight, just like one little thing. Once you're here, you should bait this, right? So, like, you look out, you confirm there's a guy flying down Rocket Street, and you can get shots on him. You can just stand here, right? Take advantage of this position that you're in, where you get an isolated fight, an isolated 1v1 with this guy on rocks. That's the best way to stay alive. The moment that you jump forward onto this podium, you reveal yourself to so many more angles, and then you end up getting shot at by this guy on DMR as well, right? So there's a risk with immediately throwing yourself onto this podium in the first place. You might not need to. You can just stand here and bait him and isolate that fight. Once you do jump here, you should be thinking in the back of your mind, my escape is to go back into red base. So your thrust, if you do need to thrust, is an escape thrust back into red base, right? Instead, your escape thrust is out left. And also the guy's shooting you from DMR now, right? Or from window. So this is the rough situation that comes with jumping on the podium. But your reaction to thrust should never be out left. I guess you want to try to avoid that angle. I just think going back into red is your safest option if you do end up in that position. But in general, you could have isolated that fight. A no presence play to go pyramid super slow and your ISO on snipe will be out of not your favorite option. You're talking about off of spawn here. Yeah, like one thing to consider. So like when he spawns here, knowing that you have no presence on snipe at the beginning of that spawn, we could have gone DMR, could have gone silver. Callous is saying you could also do this like low presence play where because you have no presence on snipe, you can go up the sneaky and sit on pyramid and kind of just like wait and see how things play out, you know, like go around at the back and you can take this like really sneaky kind of route that it's risky, but it's an option as well. It would be the safest way to play through snipe if you choose to play through snipe when you don't have any teammates there. Right, he had 2 nades. Right, that was that last thing as well, is he had nades that he could have used even in that fight as well. So, I mean, he ends up throwing one on the floor. And then kind of peeking out. Which makes me think of, like, you know, optimal nades that you can throw moving up to rockets here. But, when you peek out here, you have one more nade. You could toss that nade off the wall as well, right? You could throw a bank nade off the wall. And it makes me think, like, there's probably a really good nade that you could figure out that, like, banks here and then hits top rockets, like, every time. You know, which somebody mentioned this in my Discord. I need to think about good nade tosses and, like certain areas of the map where you can throw, like, perfect nades. Not even just for launching weapons, but, like, just to have them land in certain places. But a good nade here would have done the trick as well. Would have been really helpful. Oh, he picked up another 2? Yeah, he picked up another one, you're right. Yeah. Okay, next live.
Red flag taken. Red flag returned. Red flag reset.
Usually trying to catch myself with a pound, but that went horribly. True, true. Right, you don't have the, if you're talking about ground pound, you don't have that, though, unfortunately, right? Sometimes you can kind of catch edge. Like, if you, like, hold clamber, you might get lucky and catch it, but not where you want to be clambering, because even if you did survive and you got that clamber, then he probably still would have shot you right when he came back up, right? Pretty funny situation later with the clamber that we'll see. I don't think he died yet. I think he's still good.
That's a double.
Oh, okay, tons of stuff happens here. Alright, let's go back before we get to this first. So this is another situation where you spawn snipe, and you're, like, the only person on snipe. And you have, like, choices here, like... Actually, ha! You totally missed a huge opportunity off of spawn here. Okay, okay, he's dead. Yeah, okay, he got killed immediately. I was like, what the heck? And 2 people in red base that aren't looking. Hopefully they're good to take this kill. I don't even remember seeing that part. But anyway, you're walking through snipe here, and you're ISO, like you're alone here. You end up going to top catwalk, which, like we said, is like a middle route. Pretty risky to go to top catwalk in this situation when you don't have those perimeters. You could opt to go through snipe side. I was thinking you could take like this route, like snipe up to their couch, up to here, and this is like a nice sneaky play where it ends up like putting you right behind this window guy. If you manage to get to their window, that is such a baitable location. Like that's like so frustrating for the enemy team because like the guys who are spawning, like anybody who's coming up rocks, let's say, would have to like turn around to look at you and you back up, and it gives your team an opportunity to push up because they're looking at you. It's a great like distraction point. So I would say like if you can make a low presence play through snipe because you're alone, to their couch or maybe down this direction, but try to get to their window, that'd be a really good spot. You do end up going catwalk here.
Red flag taken.
Which just means you're gonna like get shot at by a lot of different angles, you know? Like it's just a really difficult place to live. You still are distracting, but you can't stay up here as long as you would be in other locations.
Red flag returns. Red flag reset.
End up catching a guy bottom red here. You're gonna have to fight him. You get a good kill. You have a teammate with you who's opted to move up on red maze. I would just, you know, select him as your pair and just continue to move up with him immediately so you don't waste time, and you apply pressure onto their snipe. You move up to their base, right? Because instead you go back to the base once again. I don't think you need to go all the way back to the base here. Though going back here does put you in a position where you get a sick 5. So, you know, kudos for that. Good shit. Like, you destroyed that guy. So, you know, kudos for having good shots in that situation. Though your teammate's out here alone. Thankfully, he's lived long enough. Your 7th elite? Who got 7? Why the heck would you get 7 elites? One thing with that jump visual, you can't do this jump that you're trying to do. It's just, like, not possible. I think what you're trying to do, and, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you like sprint and then you slide jump stabilize. Are you trying to get up here without clambering? Because that's impossible. You can't slide jump stabilize and get up here without clambering. The only way to get up here without clambering is you can like spring thrust stabilize. That'll get up there. You can thrust off of this and get up there without a clamber. You can super jump, I guess. You can like sprint, like super jump out of the air. That would be really hard to do. But yeah, you cannot slide jump stabilize and get up here without a clamber. So all of this stuff, like, on top of the fact that I feel like you could have just gone up snipe ramp because your teammate's already up here and you were, like, kind of wasting time where you change routes to go DMR and now you're in the middle. So not really sure what you were intending on doing there. And then you kind of fly up on base. Okay. This is a really interesting situation I want you guys to pay attention to here. Curious to see some insights on his decision-making here because you end up getting some really good kills, but you miss an opportunity. So grab sniper, lane this guy. Your teammate pushing up through rockets. He's gonna go grab the flag, and now you're looking for kills. You've opened up cave spawn, right? So cave is now shooting at you. You finish off that guy on cave. So good shots here. So like you end up just like blaning people back at their base. You stop the flagpole, and then you leave, right? So I feel like there was still a big missed opportunity. Now the blue flag's getting returned, by the way. Your teammate got, like, killed, and the flag's being returned. The biggest thing to think about here, which I think would have been clutch, despite all of the amazing kills and shots that you landed, just to be thinking about spawns in this situation, right? So, like, when you get this slay, that's 2 dead. Understand that elbow spawn is open as he pushes up. Here, watch this. Elbow spawn is open. Player spawned elbow right now. And if you are standing here on the flag, cave spawn is open as well, which you don't want. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you open up cave spawn and elbow spawn at the same time. That's how you get pinched. That's how you die. Any good player, this guy just sucks, honestly, because like any good player would recognize that there's players in blue base and not do what he's doing. He runs away, right? He just runs away. If he was good and it was a team, they would have called out from cave spawn that there's guys in blue, he would have pinched you, and you would have got killed from cave at the same time. So I think Yeah, you get sandwiched. Exactly. So what you should be thinking about when you get that kill on here is back up into cave. If you back up into cave here and you let him grab flag and pull it cave side, that you know they're spawning rocks, or yeah, rock side 100%, and you could just have an angle on rocks. You can get kills on the rocks as your team pulls it out. Your teammate pulls it out cave side. That would be a way better play, way to secure this run. Your teammate instead just ends up going rocks. They open up cave. You react pretty good to the situation, like you survive and stuff. But just this could have been a guaranteed flag cap if you block cave, force spawn them rocks, and have him run through cave while you protect him. That's like the big thing to think about is like, okay, I'm near cave, I can block this spawn, I can force them rocks, I can get a slay as this guy comes up, I can reposition myself down here and get slays onto the base. Like, you put yourself in a really good spot to help your teammate if you do that. In the end, what ends up happening is he just does this like solo flag run, like he ends up running it down. He's down bottom mid now, he's gonna get destroyed in a 2v1. Because you're helping, you get a good shot, but you're not in any position to help him at this point. Like, you know, like he's screwed, right? Easy flaggery. And then watch what you do here, which I think is a bit of a blunder as well, is you can hear it on your screen.
Blue flag return.
Blue flag return.
Blue flag reset.
You're running. Where are you going? You're doing what that guy did in the beginning of the game.
Blue carrier spotted.
Like, you get a good play here, but you're going all the way back.
Drop the carry. Blue carrier
And now you've reset. Now you're back in red base again. So, like, you know, good shots. You definitely have, like, the individual skill necessary to hit some good shots here. So, like, I got to give you credit on those. But, like, I think, you know, even after all of this happens, and it says blue flag return.
That's a double. Blue flag.
Blue flag return. Turn around, right? Turn around. Angle up on the on red or blue elbow. Get ready to get one more slay on this guy, blue elbow. You know that like once you hear like red flag pulled or whatever, you can also hear like your teammates are in battles on red base. You have an opportunity for a second flag pull. Right? Once you get that slay, you line up that snipe on elbow for that spawner. You get that slay. You pull it again through cave. Right? And then you're running a second flag. Like, that's a big opportunity right there. Or at least even just, like, continuing to apply pressure on their base. But I think there's a second flag opportunity there that you miss. So you go all the way back to base.
Red flag taken.
And then you end up getting this kill. Honestly, once you get this kill and you help your teammate out, you've got one with you on cave, I almost feel like you could just turn around again, you know? Like, you kind of did your job. You can start moving back up again as well. So it's like another opportunity there to continue to... you know, hold that forward position. I tried to throw it up and I goofed though. I played as if the flag was silver. Oh, as if like the flag runner and got zoned. Huge mistake. Trying to slay out for the team. Yeah, like the slays that you got were good. It was just the position that you were standing, not blocking the spawn, allowed you to get pinched. So had there been good players, you would have been like really screwed. Based on seeing his team, right? Okay, that's true too. Yeah, I guess he could have reacted to the position that he went with the flag too. Because I guess what ends up happening is like after your teammate decides to go elbow, you don't really help him in any way. You kind of like continue to stay in blue base and fight this guy cave, and then you stay here. You line up as like a kill on red. So yeah, you don't really you do technically have an opportunity to help your teammate as he's running that flag. You'd be like, oh, okay, he chose elbow. I guess I'll just sit on their elbow, force spawn cave instead. And then you can shoot guys as they spawn cave, or you can try to help this, like, this guy ends up just, like, flying out, and they collapse on him. So you could put yourself in a position where you help that flag runner, and maybe he could secure a flag that way. So you could even make it work with the, you know, the way that it transpired like that as well. Yeah, if you react accordingly. So, like, a lot of ways this could play out, right? It's just about, like, kind of understanding how things work, where players spawn, and then just choosing what you think is the best decision, like the best route to go about things, and playing that confidently, right? So, I mean, it could have been you blocking cave, forcing elbow. I mean, if you block cave and force elbow, like, if he might have been so low level, he might have still ran elbow. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to predict what goes on here, but once you recognize he runs elbow, you can go elbow, and then you're like, okay, well, now cave's open. So I just got to be aware of that, and also I can help him. So just kind of, like, understanding, like, what you're blocking, what you're opening up as a result, and reacting to things confidently because you know. The return was bottom mid, Callous. The return was bottom. It was like, if you want me to go back... I think he was bottom. Yeah, because he runs window. God, this is so weird. And then he goes rocks. And then he's bottom mid. And he's deep in bottom mid at this point. Yeah, so it's like even tough here. I didn't even realize he goes window. an adaptive play. But yeah, this is why an ounce of prevention is worth okay, all right. Whatever that is. Just block cave at easy cap, yeah.
Color guard.
Yeah, bottom rocks, yeah. Okay. Regardless. Oh, you're actually still living here.
Blue team scored.
And they get a cap for that. So that's unfortunate that that all kind of turns into a cap. Also because, like, this is the thing. Like, had you kind of stayed in that position when you recognized the flag got returned, you had an opportunity to get that second pull, right? So in the end, somehow they ended up getting away with it. I'm not even sure. Kill. Oh, he's running it. It's like, once you get that kill and he's running it, this is why, like, you should not be wrapping into red, right? You need to have a position to stop that flag carrier. That's why being... Oh my god, please let me get off. Right? Like, once you get that kill and he's pulling it, like, if you're already here, you're in a way better position to stop this guy. But you wrap around, and then he's getting away, and he's running it through. Yeah, and you're not, like, nobody's looking at it. And he goes down. Look at that. Right? So that's another important reason why, like, when you have that position on snipe, you've already, like, moved up there, you're already in a good spot where you can stop that flag carrier on the next pull. So by committing, going all the way into red base, you just miss this huge opportunity, and you let him get ahead of you. And then he gets a flag cap. So that's rough.
Enemy scored.
Yeah.
Blue flag taken.
Yeah, so just interesting how things kind of transpire. Next life.
Red carrier spotted. Red flag taken. Blue carrier spotted. Red flag returned.
Okay.
Red flag reset. Red team scored.
So you guys got a cap back, which is good.
Blue flag taken.
Oh yeah, this. Oh boy. Just watch, by the time you get back...
Blue flag returned.
I love that shit, that's
Blue
amazing.
flag reset.
You literally... Oh my god. Anyway. Let's go back to the start of the life, just off the... Okay. So you spawn up elbow. That's so annoying. Yeah, I know how that feels. Okay. So something to think about, and this is like, it's the same as Truth. I've been saying this like over and over on Truth. Like if you spawn, you're playing Truth CTF, you spawn pink. You do have teammates with you, and these teammates influence the spawn. So that's one thing to consider, that like, you know, because they're teammates in front of you, you might not think to check red base. But in the scenario that you spawn pink on like Truth, I always say like check blue base or check red, whatever your base is beside you, because if you spawn pink, there's a chance that they're pushing in through car side. Same thing with Coliseum. If you spawn elbow, there's a chance that there's a player pushing in through the snipe side to grab your flag. So it is team influence, but at the same time, this game isn't Halo 3. Like Halo 3 is like heavy team influence. In this game, it's still kind of a 50-50. Like there's a chance that yes, it's team influence, but it's also due to the fact that there's somebody pushing into your base. And had he not been pushing in, you might have actually spawned in base instead. So you could try to get in the habit of like quickly checking red, and if you don't see anything, then just going up rocks, right? So because you immediately kind of go up, he gets this flag pull.
Red flag taken.
You hear red flag taken, and then you kind of like jump forward here, which I feel like, well, okay, because he's already taking it through the street, this is a good position, but you're kind of the back player in this situation, right? Like you got one player with the flag beside you, and you already have another player top rockets, another one on the elbow. So the thing to recognize is like, I think just judging by the position of your teammates, it's pretty risky for you to jump out and be the one to get the re, right? Because now you lose that positioning, and if your teammate needs help, you're leaving him out to dry. Like, you're the only one in position to potentially, oh my god, I hate this, to potentially help your teammate here, right? So your teammate right now, there's another guy on elbow. And now he's getting it in a solo fight because you dove forward. You're the only one who was close enough to help. Thankfully, your teammate wins the solo fight, and he gets the cap. He clutches up, right? But just recognize that because you already had two teammates in front of you, you had one rockets, you had one elbow, one of those guys could have gone for that re, and you could have helped here. But thankfully, you're good, right? So you do get the re, and then from that position, you make a good decision. You immediately go up to their flag for another pull. So it's good that things kind of work out, but, you know, could have gone bad. Right now, when you grab that flag, I feel like elbow would have been fine. Like, you know you have guys on rocket side of the map. You know they're spawning cave. Going elbow, I think, would have worked. At the same time, if those players were really good, they could have crossed you immediately. You might have died. Or at least, like, window to elbow, if you're going to go window. But, like, this is the safer strat because this is where you have presence. This is where you have teammates. Instead, you kind of just, like, go forward. First of all, what the heck is this guy doing? You should be dead. Like, this guy should see the marker on his screen that flag's been pulled as an indication right next to him, but he's going top catwalk. He could literally he could sit here and backsmack you. He could do whatever he wants. So I'm not really sure what this guy's doing. He completely missed an opportunity. And then you don't go rocks. Like, you have a guy, he's ready for the protection, right? And you jump and you throw it out. So I think what you're trying to do is to get it on the bridge, right? If you're trying to get it on the bridge, you can't jump, thrust, throw it. You need to at least, like, sprint, slide, jump, thrust, throw it, or, like what is it? Thrust slide? Like, sprint, thrust, slide, grab it, throw it. You know, like, you can't just, like, jump, thrust, throw it. It won't go far enough. It's, like, really hard to do. So the way that you went about it is probably not going to be successful. It ends up landing here, like, right in front of the base, which is really rough because then you wrap around. I mean, like, once this happens, maybe you could, like, try to jump up to here and then there so you get to the flag faster, right? But just in general, like, this is just rough. It should have just been a rocket, like, area run, so it's more baitable. They have to kind of, like, you know, run into the bottom of the map to return it. At the same time, your teammate kind of messes up. Like, your teammate could play this better as well. Easy Ian is, like, he has an opportunity to help make sure that that flag doesn't get read. But he's, like, well, he's melting people. But he tunnels top cat, though. Right? Like, here. So here are the players. Flag goes down. Nice shots into mess. Gets him one shot. Tunnels top cat. Just tunnel vision on top cat. He could back up, right? Back up into the street. Finish him. Nice one-shot finish. Crazy that he's one-shot, too. Like, maybe he assumed that because you were down there, you could get the finish, but you decided to wrap. So, like, a lot of, like, you know, the solo queue, like, I'm going to predict that he might be here, he might be doing this, whatever. But it just kind of ends up in these, like, unfortunate circumstances. But he could have backed up. He could have finished that kill from a safe location, then taken the top cat fight. You could have taken a different route to go grab it. It ends up being like this hilarious kind of like, haha, you know, I've got your flag, and then he just reads it by the time you get back there, and it's all this wasted time, you know. So not what you want. Trying to relay at this point, not paying enough attention to teammates' positioning. So always when you pick up a flag, where are my teammates, right? Like, as you're coming in to grab this flag, you're thinking about it. You're coming in through elbow side. You know you're blocking elbow. Likely they're spawning cave. You happen to have teammates, like a teammate on rockets. Like, just being aware of that, you can immediately run it out rocket side, knowing that that's the safest way to go about it. If you're going to go window, throw it out rockets as well. Still, I think it's the safest, but... You know, just trying to go from bridge to bridge, I get it, but don't do that unless you have a running start. Unless you have the freedom to do a really fast, like a thrust slide or a slide jump thrust to really throw it across. Imagine if game chat, it is a thing. I know, but nobody uses it. I don't even use it, man. I have a mic. Sometimes I'm solo queuing, and there'll be like one guy will be like, does anybody have a mic? Fuck. He's like freaking out, and I can hear it, but I just don't feel like talking. So I just like let it play. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm definitely that kid.
Red flag taken.
When I'm playing solo queue, like I'm not trying to communicate.
Blue flag taken.
All right.
Red flag returned.
Get another re.
Red flag reset. Red flag taken. Red carrier spotted.
Okay. So yeah, from this point here, you like run up here to go back to your base to protect your base. You end up thrusting forward. Why did you thrust forward here? I found this to be like a really weird reaction thrust forward. Never burn your thrust like this. Like, save your thrust, especially not forward. That's how you die. Like, that scares the shit out of me when you do this. Because now you have no lifeline, and there's two people here. Like, luckily Caesar just, like, Caesar's not even going to try to shoot you. He's going to get the hell out of there. But, like, that thrust forward, very dangerous. Save your thrust there. Maybe even, like, approach this, like, you know, like, maybe jumping backwards or, like, standing up on here where you have a good angle. Either way, just, like, save your thrust. That's all. You jump up here. Notice that Gaka is actually below you. Gaka is technically the one who's in the best position to go for the re afterwards. Right? So, like, he could technically go for it. However, what ends up happening is Gaka's in, like, a very open, vulnerable position. So, when you dive out in this, like,
Flag taken.
haphazard way, like, you're diving out, there's 3 people with angles on you. Like, the only reason that you don't get melted is because Gaka's, like, out in the open, and they all shoot him and kill him. So really just kind of, like, dangerous stuff going on. I feel like Gaka, like, probably could have, like, played this, like, he could have shot from here and then gone through this, like, the safer route. And then he would have been the one to get the re logically. You would have been up here laying down fire. I think you had, I don't know, your teammate might have just died. Either way.
Red flag returned. Red flag reset.
Early thrust. I don't think you needed to burn that early thrust. Like, prioritize your strafe, hitting your shots there. Save that thrust for, like, the moment that you're one shot so you can make that outplay.
Red flag taken.
Because now you're, like, in bottom mid without it.
Red carrier
That's the only other
spotted.
thing I would say, and then you die. Okay, next slide.
Red carrier spotted. Blue carrier spotted.
Realize it's already 125, so we got like 20 minutes. We'll get through the rest of this, and then I'm gonna have to
Red flag
get ready to cast
Red flag
Lamb
reset.
Gaming.
Blue flag returned. Blue
Oh, I
flag
love this
reset.
part. Okay, check out this life. Yeah. Okay, so spawn up.
Blue carrier spotted.
You have to go elbow. That's fine. You're trying to ensure that they don't get the re. So you throw a nade off the wall. The second nade that you throw here, a ground bounce nade. I get the intention. Ground bounce nades are sometimes like very effective. You get an early explosion. This one in this scenario, it doesn't seem to work very well. Like, you'll see where it lands. So maybe ground bounce nade isn't the best idea in this situation. Like, if you want to hit this down here, maybe that's not the best play. Like, just thinking about it now, I feel like off this wall or off, oh my god, off the back wall, and then it just ensures that you do more damage. It's a more effective nade. So yes, that's a good option, but you just got to think about like where you're doing it. If you're ground bouncing and you're trying to hit something like way below you, there's a good chance that it's not going to be as effective because it might blow up before it gets to that spot, right? Or go too far or whatever. So something to consider. And then this whole crazy blunder ends up happening. So you go for like this like Hail Mary thrust, which can work sometimes because people are playing on controllers, and when you get above their head, they like freak out and miss their shots. So you end up like going above this guy.
Blue flag returned.
Shots on a Caesar, freak out with the melee, don't get the lunge, jump backwards, land the clamber, and I guess you did like another melee before the clamber. This guy has no idea. Understand that he has no idea what's going on. He walks forward, you miss the next melee, and then somehow that Caesar guy doesn't kill you. He was like reloading or something, and then you back up and finally die. Like, such a weird situation, honestly. Like, it's so weird, man. I think it's just like, you know, panic melee. Like, I don't know, not too much I would say. Like, maybe, like right here, when you clamber up, maybe if you thrusted forward, you would ensure that you're like in a good melee range. Like, if you thrust to the floor, turn melee the guy or something. But I also don't think it's hard. Like, it's hard to predict that he's going to like walk forward. Like, he walked away out forward just out of melee range because he's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm confused. And like, here, watch his screen. It's so funny. Like, he has no idea. He doesn't realize until you're one shot. Just like this whole situation is just like controller aim Halo.
Red carrier spotted. Blue carrier spotted. Red flag.
So like
returned.
you're over his head right
Red
now.
flag reset. Blue flag returned. Blue flag reset.
He did not see you once until he killed you at the very end. Like, so weird. He's like looking left and right. Yet all the audio cues, has no visual. He's completely lost, and then he manages to get the kill at the very end. I'm curious to see what the other guy does. I haven't even watched the other guy's gameplay. Who was it? Was it Char? No, I don't know actually. Caesar.
Red flag reset.
Oh,
Blue flag returned.
he's reloading like a fiend. He's reloading too much. And he's kind of choking too. That's so weird, man. Anyway, I don't know. Not too much I'm going to say, man. I think it's just like a little unlucky, like, you know, just trying to like time those melees. I don't know. It just kind of ended up really weird. Maybe if you got like a good thrust in there, you would have got it, but regardless. Let's go back. What are these reloads? I know he did like 4 reloads, dude. No, he did 2 or 3. Okay, next life.
Blue flag taken. Red carrier spotted.
No,
Blue
he had no
carrier
visual.
spotted.
Yeah.
Blue flag returned. Blue flag reset. Blue carrier spotted. Red flag returned. Red flag reset.
Okay.
Red flag taken.
Okay. So spawn. The moment that you spawn, you like jump thrust back into your base. So just another like kind of like play your lane situation, where I think because they've already pulled the flag and you've recognized that, you shouldn't go back into your base. You're gonna want to cut them off. Like either immediately go to DMR or go through snipe up to top cat, like some sort of position where you can cut them off and ensure that like you stop this flag because you end up getting behind them. It's kind of like wasted time, right? You're like looking elbow as well, right? They're already getting the heck out of there, so you really want to be cutting that off earlier, nading your teammate. But you do end up getting into a position where you lay down a lot of like fire, right? And also because I guess they just kind of choked their run. Like I'm not really sure why they don't just like they went through the center of the map and then toss it up. All 4 of them are here, so it's just like shoot everything you can.
Blue flag returned. Blue flag reset.
Gets re.
Blue carrier spotted.
I think from here, this is like pretty solid. You do this kind of nutty jump. You like sprint, jump, thrust, stabilize, grab top, catwalk. You have a teammate that, I guess he. Oh wait, what's he doing? Okay, now he's coming elbow, I guess. All right.
Red flag taken.
You're diving at these guys at this point. Recognize you have your thrust. You have your thrust here, and you got to know that they're coming in from cave, right? Because you have a teammate coming in from elbow. So as you fly in, something to think about is like cave is the hot zone here. Once you get that kill, the only thing I could think to stay alive is thrust out to the podium and sit behind the podium and just pray to God that you don't get hit by a nade when you sit behind here, and let your teammates steal the aggro and land shots into cave. So knowing cave is where they're gonna apply pressure. In general, like diving forward in the way that you did so early kind of made it very risky for you. I feel like you might have been able to play it slower to begin with, and just knowing cave was there, you could have maybe pre-naded it or something. But once you're here, only thing I can say is just get yourself behind the podium instead of sitting on the wall. Try to burn that thrust so you get back there. Yeah, the jump was pretty quick and efficient. Like, I mean, he'd recognized he had a guy blue elbow. There was nobody on the middle route, so he just flew to the middle route, right? So, pretty solid recognition. Oh, your teammate shot you? Yeah, maybe that contributed as well. You stood in front, and he shot you, yeah. And they get a cap. Oh, no. All right, because I guess that was, like, for the save, right? Wait, where's the flag here? Oh, it's being pulled. Oh, no. Oh, no. This happens while you die. So, I mean, you're already in their base committed. Wow, what a blunder. You can't kill him. Oh, you can't kill him. And he finally dies. Jeez. And there it goes. That sucks.
Enemy scored.
Yeah.
That's double.
I mean, it was a solid flag row, but that guy behind him, like, kind of choked.
Red carrier spotted. Red carrier spotted.
All right, this part is very interesting. Okay, so you spawn up. You fly to elbow. Technically, window route would be good because you have a guy elbow, but elbow works here because your teammate is in trouble and he's backing down, right? And he's trying to like get his health. So in this situation, going elbow could work because then you can help him out. Like you toss, I would say toss a nade right now. Get a nade in there, like a nice good nade in there to stop him from pressuring. Right? Because then that would have hit him. You take a wide route here. Nade clamber is really solid in this spot too. Like, oh shoot, now we see nothing but white. Hold on. Right when you're like clambering up to the elbow, you can throw like a nice nade into the elbow. It's not like another option for nades. So like just efficiently using this stuff as you push up. Like right here, you can throw like a bank nade off of the little wall there to your right and get it right wedged in the elbow as you clamber. Do two things at once. really risky. You probably should have died. A lot of people have this reaction where they melee and they immediately reload after they melee because they think they're going to get the kill or whatever it is. You shot him twice. You didn't get that 3-shot beatdown, so you reloaded immediately. He choked as well, and he missed his shot, so you managed to get that final shot in, but try to avoid that habit of reloading after you melee. I have a terrible habit to do that as well. Either way, you get the kill. You're on their elbow. Now look at this, okay? So your teammate, and it's already starting to happen. So crazy, dude. So your teammate who was on elbow rotated through bottom blue to come around from cave side. You have 2 teammates on cave side. Basically, what ends up happening is, like, back base is definitely blocked because everybody's looking at it. Bottom blue gets blocked because the guy was running through it, and you have guys on cave. So there's always like a fail-safe spawn on every map, and in Coliseum, it's on the elbow. It's usually like right down here on the elbow. So if other spawns are blocked or overloaded, they will spawn beside you on elbow. Even though you're standing on elbow, they will spawn there, right? So really scary. Something to recognize is, like, when you're here and you see that your 3 teammates are in front of you, you're going to want to turn around. Like, just know that they're going to be behind you. They're going to be right behind you. So I don't even think you need to be the one to run this flag. Like, I get the intention because you're there. You could run it to cave side, but honestly, had you stayed elbow, knowing that the elbow is the spawn, when shit gets overloaded, they just spawn up elbow. Look, they're all spawning elbow. Like, if you stayed here and sat, like, right here, they would spawn right here below you. Like, literally right here, and you could... They won't even know, because, like, people don't usually have the presence of mind to know that if you're standing here... and they spawn here, that you're here. Like, they'll probably just, like, go up the ramp and start fighting, or start fighting through here, and you're behind them. You have this huge opportunity if your teammate's doing that cave side run. So, something to consider. Like, when the spawns are overloaded, you recognize those 3 teammates are in front of you. There's a good chance they're bottom blue or they're in elbow. They're, like, right here, elbow. Flashbangs? Oh, no, dude, that nade was crazy. But yeah, he made it. So, this is interesting, too, is, like, the way that your teammates kind of react to help you for the flag run is in, like, the worst way possible, because they aren't thinking about how the spawns work either, right? There's a very likely chance that players will spawn here on elbow, and if they spawn here on elbow, they're going to shoot you through here, through bottom blue. But everybody splits off and they hold different angles on elbow, right? Like, this guy holds this angle on elbow, he's holding the same angle on elbow, this guy jumps up to hold the high angle on elbow. Nobody's thinking about the under base angle, like the very crucial angle, and you're running through there, and then they get, look at this, double melt, right? This guy's running to top cat, right? Like, they're not thinking about spawn. So it's like your teammates are messing up here too. They got to be taking the right angles. They got to be thinking about where in blue elbow these players are going to spawn. How can I cut that off to help my teammates? Because you get insta melted, right? And this run's kind of botched as a result. So a lot of stuff to think about. Like, when you're on elbow, you recognize you guys are cave here. They're, it's overloading the spawns. They're going to end up on this elbow side. You could prey on them as a result. Let this guy who's on cave, let him grab it running cave. Or if you run a cave, I guess try to be aware of, like, where they're going to cross you from, and whether or not your teammates are able to help you. Like, I don't know if you could, like, go to fountain or, like, through here instead. Like, try to get a quicker route. Like, if you did a hard right and you went straight into to maze, that you might have, like, gotten away from the spawn opportunity. It might have saved you instead of doing the wide one. But, like, honestly, it's it's unfortunate that your teammates all took the wrong angles to help, right? This is the power of film review. Yeah, 2v2 tourney at about 2 o'clock. I gotta join a Discord call with him at 1:45. Coach, what's up, Coach Xer? Spawn overloads hurt my head. Yeah, it's so weird. It's Collie is, like, elbow is the failsafe spawn. So, like, if other spawns are overloaded, they spawn elbow. Like, even if you're there, which is kind of cool. Like, if you know that, you could, like, destroy people. If you know that spawns are blocked, you could just, jump on people from above if you're up on elbow. Same with, like, truth. Like, car on truth is the overload spawn for truth. So, like, if other spawns are blocked, they just start all spawning car, right? So I think it's car. Callous, let me know. I'm pretty sure it's car. But yeah, very interesting how it all works out. So they still try to get the run. We'll play your next life. Oh, the sticky nade flash, dude, it's crazy, man. Yeah, car. Okay.
Color guard.
Well, I think you left at this point, Callous. I think it's, like, almost over now, which is convenient because we gotta I gotta get off in a sec.
Blue flag taken.
Yeah. This is another, like... okay, so spawn... Like, I understand that the flag is kind of the priority here. Like, you wanna stop that flag. What you could do, I think, is, like, just kind of assume that it's a dead flag. Because it didn't make it very far, your teammate's in trouble. Like, once he... Yeah, your teammate's dead. So, like, this right here, recognizing your teammates are dead... Like, what you could be doing, instead of going through snipe, is just immediately running rocks and going for another flagpole. Right? So, like, that would be really tough to kind of consider, but, like, if you spawn out rocks and recognize that, like, I screwed up, my run didn't get as far as I wanted it to, my teammates are in trouble, they're probably going to get maybe I should just immediately run to their elbow. Because if you did that, you could have just continued the dilemma, pulled it again. You don't remember this because you left here, Callous. Yeah, this is where you left. And you can tell me what you think, honestly, because this is, like... So he might have actually been able to just immediately go for a second pull elbow. You end up wrapping through. Would lead to a flag standoff. Fine. That's what it would probably do. But instead, he's a solo player, basically pushing up on 3. He does actually have a teammate here, so we'll see how it plays out. It's just an option. This could still work.
Another guard.
To get a kill. So yeah, instead you get some slays and kind of like resets the situation regardless. You fly into blue here. You're really flying at this point. So you're going to get into battle immediately on blue flag. Another big thing to consider. Super risky thrust, man. Like, so you already have a teammate diving into blue and you have a teammate on blue elbow. I would just like hold the corner, right? You don't need to dive thrust in here. I feel like maybe it's just... You know, time's running out, whatever it is, you guys are all flying in, but Cave is, like, so dangerous, right? If you know you have a player elbow and Cave side's open, you can get shot in the back for jump thrusting here, and that's exactly what happens, right? So this is just a hard commit, very dangerous hard commit. I think you could have helped with the angle, but also considered that there might be somebody Cave and had yourself in a position where you can escape if necessary, or at least save your thrust for an outplay, because now you're just, like, hard committed, and there's no hope of saving you here. And you threw it out street, and all your teammates are elbow. So, like, honestly, maybe even throwing it forward as you die, right? So, like, jump, throwing it forward as you die, at least it's right beside your teammates. There's a chance that they can get slays and continue the run. So you kind of, like, throw it in a position that's even farther away from them. Soljin with a sub. Thank you, Soljin. Welcome, dude. Welcome to the Shyway. First sub. Let's go. Yeah, so a lot of, like, little things that didn't really help your team and kind of screwed you over here. Right, now they're all in elbow. They're going to have to fight harder to get to that flag now. Teammate, enemy... Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's the thing, too, is, like, teammate in enemy window. Because, like, at that point, you had a teammate there, yeah. Who could have helped? You could have helped there. I think the teammate would have been good if the teammate recognized it, too. He's already there, right? So, like, once his teammate dies, he could just be like, okay, that's a dead flag. I'm gonna just immediately get a pull. Like, he could have been the one to get the pull, and you could have been on rocks, like just lining people, like lighting people up, right? Yeah, that would have been cool too. It's like another option, right? So this happens, you dive in, just like a hard commit on the dive without really kind of considering the Cave side. Get shot in the back, throw it into the window. Could have been thrown to the elbow. Dead again. You're gonna fly forward. I think it might be over now. Oh, no, okay, it's the next live.
Blue flag returned. Blue flag reset.
You're taking a middle route. Watch, this is why it's dangerous to take a middle route. Look at this. Dead. Right? If you don't have presence, if you don't have a perimeter and you jump to top cat, you're the front player too, right? Your teammate, well, actually, you do have teammate's elbow. Cave spawn is probably likely. I think just fly snipe. You just thrust slide, fly snipe, you get a good angle, a good pinch, right? Instead, you go to the middle here.
Rocket launcher ready.
Blue flag returned.
And then, yeah, you get a bit of a rough situation. Blame starting soon? Yeah. Okay. They want me for 145. That's 2 minutes. So, yeah, you get back smacked. And I think it's over now. I think it's done now. You jump forward. Oh, wait. Another hard commit. I mean, I think you just like there's like a little bit of a desperate kind of thing happening here because like the flag gets dropped bottom mid, you chase this guy bottom mid, not recommended. Especially like I think even like off spine, you saw that there were 2 people top cat, like just kind of tunnel this guy, dive into bottom mid. You already have teammates rockets, like you already have another person diving. It's like everybody's diving, everybody's down bottom mid. Like if you look, 3 people once you dive here. Somehow you're the only one who ends up dying out of your team. But yeah, you go down. In the meantime, they get a flagpole. So I think by the time you spawn, yeah, you spawn elbow, and he's already like running it. He's already far ahead. Let's see. Yeah. Oh wait, you do another dive. Okay, fuck, dude. I keep thinking it's done. Now it's done for sure. Wait, let me see. And now it's done. You grab a snipe and then it's over. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know. You dive forward. People don't think to themselves, is this the optimal play? As a coach, I see people overcommitting bad plays, costing games, OVs, camo, power opens. Definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah, it's something you always need to be kind of self-reflective on. And this is why watching film is so helpful, because you can see when you make those kinds of plays and those decisions, and you can change your mind on things. Like at this point, I mean, like really risky, right? Like they have top cat presence, you dive forward, even just staying rocks and going elbow. Like maybe your objective should be to get to their elbow, because that's like a really great spot to lock them down. I'm not even sure where flag is at this point. Honestly, I should be getting off because it's 1:45. But yeah, that's the last play of the game. So you dive forward, you end up dying, you grab snipe, and the game's done. So thank you, Minty, or Visual, whatever you want me to call you. You're panicking. Yeah, I mean, at the end, it did seem like it got a little panicky. You're like, okay, let's just fly at him. You know, hopefully something will go. It'll work. You did have some really great moments in the beginning of the game, like some great shots too. You were blading people with a snipe in that game, so like individual skills there. Scally, Scaly. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Let me see. Scaliana. You let me know how to pronounce that. Thank you. But yeah, honestly, you had some like really good individual stuff. It's more so just macro, kind of thinking about where you are relative to your teammates, picking good routes, and if you're like the ISO player on snipe, like trying to figure out like if you're going to do a low presence play through pyramid, or if you take that play like silver to silver, where you still can help your teammates on rockets or in center map, while you're also keeping snipe out of play. Like it's hard for the guys who are in snipe side to actually get to you in that silver to silver play. Yeah.